Hey y'all, welcome back to a new video. If things look a little different, I am trying to just play with my lighting. I put together a new background so it doesn't look as grubby and gray. So I figured the first thing to do would be a cream blush, bronzer, and highlight declutter. We are getting into the declutter season, so it seems appropriate. There's a bunch of stuff in here that I don't know. I haven't made decisions. I haven't made up my mind, but we're going to go through this and we'll figure it out. So let's do it. All right. So this is everything except for my Salt New York palettes. These are going to stay. I will declutter them as they go off, but for right now, they're all going to stay where they are. This one is in a palette that is in my gym bag. Same for these. These are my face products from Salt New York. So I've got a bronzer, a contour. I think I've got a newer contour. Oh no, this is Toasted Coconut. This is older, but it's still really beautiful. We've got what are you? Light medium bronzer, and then the contour and the highlight in beige. If we have time, I will swatch all of these for you. All right, I think what we're gonna do is start with this pile of like individual blushes, and we'll go from there. I'm gonna put everything in a bin and try and keep it all together. Let's start with the bronzers and contours because I have fewest of those. Okay, so I have 4 Phytosurgeons bronzers. I am probably going to keep all of these, but we'll do a swatch, we'll compare everything I've got, and give it a go. So this is shade 1. I use this shade just about every time I do my makeup. It's really good for counteracting the blue tones under my eyeballs, and it's barely perceptible on the skin, and it's one of the reasons I really like it. Number 3 has actually like really warmed the cockles of my heart. It has become my go-to easy everyday bronzer shade. It's, again, let me turn down my light a little bit more. So shade 1, shade 3. So these are the warmer shades. And then we've got shade 2, which, you know, these are the old formulas, so they're a little stiff. So I like this, but it's terrible to swatch. These just do not swatch very well. This is the newer formula and it swatches really nicely. The others are just really difficult, and I think that's why he changed them. Phytosurgents is an indie brand. They're out of Canada. They are as far as I know, a single or a double man operation, very small. And so they can very easily change a formula if it's not perfect. Would I keep these if I had the other formula? Probably not, but I have them, I use them, I like them. They just don't swatch well. But they are all going to stay. This is my Oma contour. I absolutely love this. I rarely do my makeup without it. And you can see in comparison to the Phytosurgents, it's got more depth, it's got more green/gray to it, but it's also just more pigmentation. I do not know what is going on with this brand. I don't know if they've closed. I have seen them at JCPenney, not recently. I haven't been there for a while, but I don't know what's going on with this brand. However, I love this contour. It's gorgeous. All right, we then have the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Skin Enhancer. This is beautiful. It really is. I have just continued using mine. It warms up the skin. It really does help. If you're not doing a lot, put a little bit of this on. It just wakes up the face, gives it some dimension, and makes it look like you're not a a goblin who likes to hide. All right, this is not a bronzer. We only have two more, surprisingly. Glossier. This is the Glossier Cloud Paint in the shade Swept. I really like this. I love this formula. They have taken notes from their blushes and really toned down the pigment and given this product, you get more time to work with it. And that is really the crux. It doesn't dry down. It's not super hard to work with. It blends out really beautifully. It doesn't pick itself up. It's not streaky, and it's really little, which I appreciate. So she can stay. LYS, I am still trying to figure out how I feel about this. This is the lightest shade from LYS. No Limits or Hope, I'm not sure. But this is full on green. And for some reason, my skin cancels out the green. Yeah, look at it compared to Swept, compared to these other cream bronzers. It's orange. Oh my goodness, yeah. Look at that in comparison to everything else. That is orange. I am going to declutter this and pass it on to someone who I think will be able to use it, because I can't. It's just not my shade. Fortunately, I bought this from Credo. They have issued me a refund and told me to hang on to it and pass it on to somebody who can use it. So that's what we'll do. Okay, clean arm. We're gonna do highlighters next, because I don't have that many, and it'll just give us less to deal with when it comes to the blushes. I think this is technically a highlighter. So we have highlighters. We're gonna swatch all of these, and I will make decisions as we go. Merit. So this is the Merit Day Do in Bounce. This has really, really grown on me. I have been enjoying this immensely. So it can stay. This thing from RMS, I just don't know, y'all. I just don't know. I've been playing with this brown shade and it's really gorgeous, but the formula is just so weird. It's a balm, but it's really stiff and it doesn't spread and it doesn't really melt all that much. It's I don't like it. And for that reason, I'm going to pass it along. It's going to get out of here. This one from Milk. Well, okay, so Tristique is going to start rolling around. I love this highlighter. I haven't gotten a whole lot of use out of it, but that's because I've been using other things. But it is smooth, it's even, and it just gives you this glow. It's not quite the same as Bounce, but it does have a lot of smaller particles that make it nice and even without making it super blingy and brilliant. And I think there is a place in my life for both of these. Let's talk about Milk makeup. I don't know how I feel about this. This is their Bionic Glow in the shade Virtual. And I don't know if there's necessarily a place in my life for a liquid highlight like this. Oh, that smells like paint. It full on smells like house paint. I don't think I'm keeping this. And it's too bad because I know that this is a really pretty formula, but it's kind of halfway between the Merit and the Tristique. It's got some pink to it, which I really appreciate. It does balance nicely on my skin, but it's too much. It's too hard to work with. It smells weird. I don't think it's gone off. I've only had this a little over a year, but I'm just not reaching for it. I see it, and when I see it, I think, oh, hey, I should use that, and then I reach for other stuff. So this is going to go away too. Richwell Defee and Charlotte Tilbury. So this is the Charlotte Tilbury Glowgasm Beauty Light Wand in Peach Gasm. Look, it's really pretty. And I have been reaching for it more. It's kind of been on my mind, but more as a like, if I don't use this up by the end of the year, I want to declutter it. But looking at it in comparison, it really is different to everything else I have in this category. And I do really like the texture. I like the formula. I like the delivery mechanism even. So I'm going to keep it and I'm going to use it, and eventually it will work its way out of my life. Okay, we have from Richwell Defee in their Rare Light Creme Illuminizer, we have Phosphine and Solar Flare and The Alchemist. I forgot I had this. This was in a declutter box, but I've been playing with it and it's been fun. So this is just an absolute weird, sparkly topper. Like if you really want to be glowing to the gods, if you want everyone to see you, yes. It's the opposite of everything else that's here, where everything else here is kind of dim but fused. It's more diffused than it is bright. This is smack you in the face bright, and I really like it. Especially for the time that we're living in. I feel like we all need to sparkle. All right, phosphine. This is really pretty. And this is why I was okay giving up the milk, because I knew this was in here. So this is a cream, or like a melty balm. And it does reflect. I don't know. I wonder if I've had this for a while and it's maybe starting to go off. It smells perfectly fine. These smell like lavender. So if you are sensitive to fragrance, take that to note. But it is very pretty and I do like it and I do think of it and I do reach for it. That right there is the crux. Do I reach for it? Do I think about it? Do I know that it exists? Yes. So she can stay. We then have Solar Flare, which is newer and it's less pink. It's actually a little bit more gold, but it does not appear gold on my skin. It feels like my skin tone, but a little bit brighter, a little bit shinier, and it's not as pink. So if I don't want a really pink cheek or a pink highlighter, I have the answer right here. So there we go. I've gotten rid of, so far, two highlighters and a bronzer. I'm good with that. All right. So these are the highlighters that I am keeping. I have what, 6 of these and 7 bronzers and contours. We're about to hit blush and there's a lot of blush. Okay. So these are the one-offs. These are the ones that I only have 1 or 2 of. Some of these I bought mostly drugstore for a project. Some of these I love, love, love. So we're going to go through those and then we'll get into the finickier ones. So this is ABH, this is Latte. And it is a gorgeous beige rosy brown. The formula is fabulous on these. I love the stick. I've actually looked at other shades in store and they're just not as pretty. They're just not the same. The colors are like so much more on the nose. Whereas this one is just, it's so desaturated and it's so much more skin native and skin friendly. This is definitely gonna stay. It's one that I had to pull out of my everyday makeup bin. Beverly Hills from Merit. I did a declutter at some point and I decided to get rid of this. And then someone on YouTube was talking about it as a what was it, limited edition shade, and my brain went, I think I have that. So I pulled it out and I have been using it, but it's one of those that's kind of finicky. I have to be careful what I layer it with. But if I'm doing just a simple face of makeup and I want a beautiful pinkish cheek, this is nice. I don't love the packaging. This feels not great. But I do like the blush itself. Bosma. One of the things I have realized about myself is that balm blushes are just no longer my thing. They're not that, they just don't make a lot of sense with my lifestyle. However, this one is special. I really like how cool toned it is, but it's also very translucent. This is their cream blush in the shade Mauve. I love the packaging. I love that it's mostly metal. It doesn't have a mirror. It feels like it should be pretty easy to recycle. And I really like the product inside. So she gonna stay too. All right, we then got 4 of these guys. Let's tackle this one. This is from Honest Beauty. This is their Lush Lilac. Again, I got this from the drugstore and I bought it during that time last summer when everyone was doing like the lilac and the tangerine blushes. I wanted to see how a lilac blush would work on me. And in all honesty, I just don't think it does. I love this formula. I love that she has switched from plastic to a tin. And it does look like it has a little depotting hole on the back, which for a drugstore product is fabulous. But again, it just doesn't get enough play. It doesn't get enough use. I think about it, but then I think against using it. So I think that that right there tells me that it should be decluttered. All right, we're going to start with this one because this is the impetus of the dupe hunt. I have filmed a video trying to dupe this blush, and I'm pretty sure I'm happy with what I came up with, but I think, and that means this can be decluttered. This is from Nude Sticks. This is one of their Nudies Matte in the shade Sunset Strip. It's such a unique and weird color. I went through Sephora, I went through Ulta. I had their associates running around the store bringing me cream blushes to swatch against this, and we couldn't find anything that measured up. If we did find something in this color, it was in a balm formula. I wanted a cream. I didn't care if it was a stick, a pot, a pan, that didn't matter. But what mattered was the color, and I love this color, but the formula is terrible. It goes on smooth, but then as soon as you blend it, it starts picking itself up. It's smeary. It just is patchy, and I don't love it. So it's gonna get the chop. That's an easy one. As is this. Honestly, I don't think I've even put this on my face, but I don't need to know I don't like it. This is from Pixi. This is their On the Glow Blush Tinted Moisture Stick. Yeah, it looks like the shade is Juicy, which, it's a fine color. But again, it's the same problem. You can see as I'm trying to blend it, it's just picking itself up and moving itself around. I am not a fan. Not a fan. I picked it up because the color looked like it could be something similar to this, and it's not. It's not. The color's not great, the formula's not great. It's gonna go bye-bye. Bye, Pixi. The same can be said for this. This is from ColourPop. This is one of their weightless liquid blushes in the shade Super Shy. And this is just, it's close to the original blush that I was trying to dupe it. But I don't know what is with drugstore liquid blushes. Maybe it's me. They look how patchy that is. It's smeary, and this is just with the lightest bit of blending. If you use a brush with it, the brush will pick up anything that's wet. It's just no. Nope. So out of the singles, out of the ones that I only have one of, these 3 are staying, and I got rid of 4. I forgot Lust from Rituel de Fille. If you've been around since, beginning of the year, this is my OG Raisin blush. It is one of my favorite pieces of makeup. I did recently have to replace it because my other one went off, but that's okay. It's beautiful. She stays. Let's talk about these 2 from Rare Beauty. We have, I think this is Virtue. So Virtue is like a toasted peach. It's a really unique color. It's almost terracotta. If it were a little bit more brown, I think it would be more of a terracotta. It is just like a toasty peach. It's a very unique color in this formula. I do have a powder blush that I think is similar, and we'll get there when I declutter my powders. I love these. Even this little guy, I remember I have it, which is really unusual for minis, but it's beautiful and it takes up no space. It's also really nice to throw into a travel bag. So that can stay. It can stay, it can stay. Hope. This is pink. This is a cool toned pink. And it's one of those blushes that when I want just a basic pink cheek, I know that I can reach for it and it will do the job. The formula is great. I don't know how I'm going to finish this. It is an enormous amount of product. It's 0.25 fluid ounces or 7.5 mils. It's a lot of product, but these are also reasonably affordable. So if this is your only blush, go for your life, enjoy it. I do wish they made like a mid-size, something right in the middle between the itty bitty and the big one. We need like a mama size where we've got daddy and baby and we need a mama. Miss Charlotte Tilbury. These are the Matte Beauty Blush Wands. This is in Pink Pop. I also have Pillow Talk. And Pink Pop is one of the brightest pinks that I have. It's very pink. It's very bright. It livens up my face and just gives my cheeks this very nice little glow. I can use this I've used this on top of my cheeks as a highlighter, but I also use it as a blush. And it's really easy to work with. Again, I like this delivery system and I like the formula. So it's gonna stay. Same with Pillow Talk. I mean, how can we badmouth Pillow Talk? It is that perfect nudie, dusty, brown toned beige. It's one of those colors that just is indescribable. But it does have a similar undertone to Lust, which I think is one of the reasons I really like it. All right. Phytosurgents. Earlier this year, I did have to declutter Sublimate because it just went off. It just started smelling bad. However, I did get 2 new ones in the dupe quest. This is Fume, again, in the beige, rose, nude, raisin category. I like it very muchly. It's a little bit more pink. It's got just a touch more pink, and it's a beautiful blush. It's very easy to use. All right, we've got Ember, which is a really weird, unique shade to my collection. I thought it would be a dupe for the Nude Sticks blush, but it's not. It's more coral, it's less pink, and it's so pretty. The formula on these blushes is bananas. And then the one. This is Singe, also from Phytosurgents. This is the one that I decided on as the closest dupe for the Nude Sticks blush. You can see the slight difference between Singe and Ember. Singe is a little more pink, whereas Ember is a little bit more orange, but they're both flattering, easy to use, beautiful blushes. Bloom Effects. These tulip tints. So this is, these are the tulip tints from Bloom Effects. Crisp Coral I've had for a while. Stroopwafel. I just got recently. And that one I actually want to compare to a couple of my Finding Ferdinand blushes. So maybe I'll do that one in a minute. This one, this is a very bright, much more desaturated coral. It's kind of on the same level as Ember. It's got a bit more yellow and it's a different formula. But this is such a pretty formula. I like it very muchly. It's smoothing, the pigment's even. It doesn't pick itself up as you're trying to blend it. It just does the job and it's so pretty. It's gonna stay. All right, the two that I want to compare to Stroopwafel or Stroopwafel are High Noon and Sunrise from Finding Ferdinand and Khaki. Okay, so let's do Stroopwafel first. I was frankly shocked when I got this because if you're looking at the color on the tube, it's really mucky and desaturated and almost brown. But then you open it and you squeeze some out and it's pink. It's not an ugly shade of pink. It's really not. It's actually quite pretty. It's a little bit more fuchsia, almost magenta. It's really pretty. It's, you know, if we're talking about fads and what has been trending over the last couple years, it's the perfect blush for that like cold girl aesthetic that was all the rage last year. Oh my god, we're gonna be cold. That's makeup. Let's do it. So I want to compare. So this is Sunrise. It's a little bit more desaturated. It's a little bit more beige, but it's very much in the same color family. And I do use, you know what? Looking at these two, they are virtually the same color. And honestly, I prefer the Finding Ferdinand formula. Let me swatch the other one and I'll make a decision. All right, so this is High Noon. This is, yeah, okay. That's what I wanted to know. I do not need or want to keep Stroopwafel other than just the name. The name is fun. But I have both of these gorgeous cream blushes that are smoothing and even. And I like this formula, but I really do prefer the Finding Ferdinand. So even though I've only recently gotten this, it's going to say bye-bye. And both of these are going to stay. Oh, Finding Ferdinand. I love these blushes. All right, we have Olay. No, we have Latte, Olay, and Macchiato. Latte, I am on a quest. I am on a noble quest to find a dupe or to get Finding Ferdinand to open up their custom blush technology so that I can make one of these. I love this blush. I went through it so fast. And I'm at this point, I am preserving it for swatching purposes. And once I find a dupe, I will use the rest of it. Or I find a way to acquire another one of these. I'm actually going to look online and see if maybe someone's got one. All right, I'm not finding anything, but there will be a quest. There will be a quest. Or rather, I am on a quest. Olay! I really like this. It's a good everyday, just waking up my face. Not too warm, not too cool. It's like right there in the sweet spot. And I like it very much. And then we have Macchiato. I need to pull this out and be using it because it's gorgeous. It really is. It's that deep. This is almost what I would consider a terracotta. It needs a little bit more orange, but it is beautiful. And I'm really bummed that these aren't available anymore. I had the peach ones and the coral ones and I sold them. And I'm kind of regretting that, but at the same time, I know that somebody who loves them has them. So this is everything I'm getting rid of. So I've got the LYS bronzer. I've got the tulip tint from Bloom Effects. I've got this blush from ColourPop, Milk Makeup, Nude Sticks, Honest Beauty, RMS, and Pixie. I'm good with that. I'm really good with this. It felt like my cream products were starting to bust at the seams. So having those done is huge. Let's go ahead and swatch these guys real quick. I'm not trying to be ruthless. I'm just trying to hang on to the things that I'm going to use. So here we have, I think this is Sparkling Peach, which was limited edition. Persimmon. Sunburnt. This is Terracotta. I want that in a cream formula. It's got that brown orange dinginess. And unfortunately, Salt New York has discontinued this shade, but it's also in a balm, which is not my general preference for a blush anymore. So it's fine. This is Maple. Very light, very desaturated, almost not there. Rose is in my gym bag. Yes, there is Mauve. Very pretty, very easy to wear. And then this is Spice. I don't think Spice is made anymore. But like Terracotta, it's got that dinginess. It's got that like raisiny quality that I love in a blush. So those are the Salt New York blushes that I have. I have had more in the past, but as I have grown into my makeup loving life, I have started looking at what I use with more of a critical eye. All right, Toasted Coconut, which again, like Sparkling Peach, was limited edition, but unlike the LYS blush that also has a bit of a green undertone, this doesn't turn bright orange on me, which is fabulous. Bronzer, this is the bronzer in light medium. It is a bit green. For a bronzer, that is a bit green. And I know that, which is why I don't really use it. Oh, this is also a bronzer in light medium. I don't know why I have two of them open, but I do. And then this is their Radiant Cream Tint Pro, yeah, in the shade Beige, which honestly is one of the more neutral highlighters I've used, although compared to a lot of the ones I've kept, it's a little bit more gold. Just a little bit more gold. It's got just a tinge of yellow. So that is Salt New York. We're going to keep them. And I'm going to take a count of everything I have saved. Everything I have kept. 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. Bam. It's a lot, but it's a nice round even number. It's a nice round even number. And I like all of these. None of these I'm looking at being like, oh, do I really want to keep this? No, I know I do. And I think that's kind of the point of this exercise, is to look at things from the perspective of, do I like it? Do I use it? Versus, did I buy it for a video? Was it something I was experimenting with? And I think that that is the bulk of what I have gotten rid of. All right, friends, that will do it for today's video. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like, leave a comment. I love that stuff. I hope you all are taking care of yourselves so you can take care of each other, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye.